Hello everyone and welcome to today's weather video. I haven't done this in a while actually just because, well, life happens and everything. But I wanted to talk about the upcoming huge East Coast storm that is impacting obviously the East Coast today, tomorrow, and going into Tuesday. Basically what is happening is that we have kind of like a tropical entity here in the Gulf of Mexico, Florida actually more, yes. But today, which is Sunday, December 17th, this area of low pressure forming over here over the state of Florida is going to be moving up the coastline over the next couple days. And it's interesting because it kind of has like a tropical kind of like feel to it. Now, it's not a named storm or anything, and it's actually not a winter named storm, as most of the winter storms that we do have here in the United States actually are named depending on how many people they affect. But this storm is actually kind of more tropical than winter like, basically. So it's going to be forming over here over the Gulf of Mexico into Florida over the southeast coastline today on Sunday, and then it's going to be intensifying and then just moving right up the coastline like most coastal storms do when we have this basically trough over into the East Coast and everything. This normally happens during the wintertime, but again, we don't have the cold air. So this is going to be basically a rainstorm. So we're not going to have a whole lot of snow associated with this. We're just going to have a lot of rain and wind. So there's already wind watches and warnings up from South Carolina all the way up to Maine, mainly for tonight going into tomorrow and Tuesday morning. And then we have just a lot of rain coming along with the system. So basically from the Carolinas, and again, mostly the coastline to the Piedmont regions of Carolinas, going into Virginia, the Delmarva Peninsula, going into New Jersey, parts of eastern Pennsylvania, New York, and then basically all of New England. They're going to be just swamped with a ton of rain and a ton of wind. And wind gusts are actually supposed to go up to about 40, 50, even maybe 60 miles per hour, and even maybe above 60 miles per hour if you do live right along the coastline, mainly if you're confined to the New England coastline, basically from Long Island. I know they have high wind warnings up and everything, so they could be seeing wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. Going over into not really, say, the Boston area. I know that Boston has a high wind warning and everything, but gusts 40 to 50. But if you're living along down East Maine, you're going to have a lot of wind coming off of the ocean, which could gust up to possibly 60 or more miles per hour. Mainly, this is going to be a event that happens tomorrow into Tuesday and everything. So again, a lot of the rain is right now confined into the southeast. It's moving over into the Carolinas and into Virginia. I know here in DC, the worst of it is going to happen tonight into tomorrow. I was just looking out my window. I can look out my window right now. It's still dry and everything, no wind and everything. But this afternoon, it's around 10:30 in the morning. We are supposed to get, the wind and the rain pick up and everything, and then it'll move up obviously the I-95 corridor going into New England tomorrow and into Tuesday. Now on the back side, we are going to have it's a big low pressure system. So we are going to have a lot of wind, and the wind is going to go from basically the southeast, like a normal, kind of again, tropical entity kind of would. So if you think in terms of a tropical storm, when they go up the coastline, or if they do go up the coastline, you have the winds coming up from the southeast, northeast, and then they switch over to the northwest. And that's what's going to happen with this actual system. So you're going to see winds like in DC from the southeast, northeast, and then over to the northwest, especially tomorrow and tomorrow night. And it's going to bring in a lot of colder air. So on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's actually going to be pretty cold in basically the whole entire eastern seaboard and everything. And we are expected to see some snow, not in the cities, but we are expected to see snow in the Appalachian Mountains and interior northeast once the storm actually moves through and we have the cold air wrapping out behind it and everything. So we do have winter storm watches up for parts of West Virginia going into Maryland and parts of Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have watches and warnings go into interior of the Northeast, especially the Green and White Mountains of Vermont and New Hampshire and everything. So we do have a cold side to the storm and everything, but the actual initial part of the actual storm moving up the eastern seaboard, it is going to be bringing a lot of warm and tropical kind of like moisture to it. So we're not seeing a snowstorm here on the I-95 corridor. Unfortunately, I know right before Christmas and everything, kind of wish we had a white Christmas this year, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year. So yeah, that's basically it. So again, if you live along the eastern seaboard for the next couple of days, you're going to be wet and pretty windy and everything, and then you're going to be turning colder for basically the majority of next week, and then Christmas comes up, and I do have a forecast for you all in the next coming days. Have a good day.